exclusively leaked the iPhone 5's first photo. Pre-orders have already begun for the next generation iPhone, and the Sprint iPhone 5 rules in rumor mill. All this and more coming up right now. Hello everybody, I'm Jaime Rivera and welcome to the Pocketnow iReview, the show we go through all this week's cool and the not so cool inside the world of Apple's iOS devices. Let's start this week off with the cool. Well, the hottest iPhone 5 news this week actually came from us. This may look to you like a typical sushi bowl, but in fact it's an image that was cropped to make you believe that it was taken on an iPhone 4. And we were able to confirm that it was in fact taken with an 8 megapixel camera instead of a 5. And hey, it was also taken at 1 Infinite Loop, Cupertino, California, so it's definitely confirmed that the image was taken in the Apple campus according to its location data. Now, what's even most interesting here is that the image sensor that took the camera was a 4.3mm image sensor that actually looks more or less like a point-and-shoot sensor than your current smartphone image sensor that we find. Currently, the iPhone 4 has a 3.8mm lens, and hey, it does a really good job at taking photos, so imagine what we could expect from the next generation iPhone 5. We're expecting dates, expecting rumors. So far, the image shows that the device is real, that it's coming. The specs are actually really good. And speaking of the next iPhone rumors and continuing on with our coverage of last week's leak of a front-facing panel for the N94 prototype of an iPhone, we were also able to confirm that iOS 5 Beta brings the FCC ID of the next generation N94 device designator. So our biggest bet is that this will be simply an iPhone 4 with less storage probably, or hopefully Apple will come up with something different in design. But remember, most probably we will get the iPhone 4 in design for the cheap version of the iPhone, and then Apple will use the N93 prototype moniker at least for the next generation iPhone 5. Time will tell. Now, it seems that Sprint has made more iPhone 5 news than any other carrier lately, and on one hand we have a leaked memo that mentions, and this is within Sprint, that the iPhone will be released on the first half of October. And then aside from that, we have another post of a Best Buy document that mentions that Sprint will be getting the iPhone early October, so dates do match up. Now, interesting enough, the new coolest news is having the iPhone 5 or 4 on an unlimited data plan network because Sprint offers it. So rumors have it that Sprint will drive sales of the next generation iPhone through unlimited data. So it does seem that things are coming well, though we still don't really know what to make of WiMAX. I don't really see Apple bringing LTE, WiMAX, or even a 4G phone right now. Rumors have it that that'll come until 2012, but again, rumors. And well, believe it or not, Deutsche Telekom, and I hope I pronounced that right, has just begun accepting pre-orders for the iPhone 5 that nobody has even announced. According to their spokesperson, they've begun doing this just to avoid being understocked for when the phone is released. Obviously, they're not guaranteeing any release dates or even giving out the name of the device that nobody even has, but they're handing out coupons and hoping for the best just as everybody else is. Now, could this be a rumor that points out to a probable release of the iPhone? Everybody's crossing their fingers, not really sure what to make of it. On the software release side, Apple has just released iTunes 10.5 Beta 8 for developers, which seems to enhance iTunes Match, though it's interesting that Apple is not releasing an iOS 5 Beta 8 that goes along with it. And well, rumors have it that Apple even released the version that's already approved for carriers to begin testing the next generation iPhone, and apparently some carriers already have it. But interesting enough, the most important part is that apparently it brings the nuanced speech-to-text technology that everybody's talking about for the next generation device. So interesting enough, hopefully that will be good news. Now, Google also seems to be all over the software front for iOS devices. They've just released an HTML5 version of Google Music Service, and we all know why that had to go HTML5 and not obviously on iOS itself. But you know, aside from that, they also released an application for Blogger that a lot of people were waiting for, and they even offered more enhancements for Google Plus in their application in a new release that they just sent out. Now, Facebook application already got an update recently, and apparently this was a dramatic overhaul, but I'm still waiting to see it. I don't find anything improved, I just see that it's slower. And before we get to the not so cool section, guess what? Adobe's preparing a new Flash server software that brings Flash Video to iOS. The problem here is that obviously this tool depends on websites and services, considering that they're open to provide the tool or not. It's up to them, so hopefully they will adopt it. But the problem is, remember that already Skyfire brings a sort of engine that works like this, and it doesn't really deliver. So hopefully these guys can figure it out. But again, Adobe, why don't you just figure something out? Because I know Adobe Flash could work on iOS if you probably just worked on your own engine on your own. Okay, so that does it for the cool. Let's continue on with the not so cool. We were all excited about a recent leak that we were able to pull of an iPhone 5 screenshot that offered 64 gigabytes of storage on the About section, and everything else just screamed iPhone 5. But it ended up being a hoax, sadly. A gentleman from Fort Worth, Texas called Richard Windman was the one that created this. And, well, first of all, thank you, Mac Rumors, for pointing it out. And second of all, shame on you, Richard. Why are you playing with everybody's emotions? People have been waiting for this device since June. Don't play around, buddy. Not so cool. That's it for today's show. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Jaime Rivera. Remember to give us a thumbs up if you like what you saw. That's it for now.